Hey there everyone, this is Sam Stern recording what will be my last video as part of the USC Hillel at Home and Beyond Our Walls YouTube Torah series. Because we had such a response to the last one I did that was live off the cuff, this is what we're going to be doing again this evening. I have just moved to my new home in Texas, and so things aren't, it doesn't look as formal as it usually does behind me. And this week we're talking about a dual portion, Acharei Mot Kedoshim, that will begin this coming tomorrow and go through Saturday. So the first thing that popped to my mind when talking about this, knowing that we like to focus in this series on one thing in the Torah portion that I've been thinking about, is that Acharei Mot, which picks up after the death of two of Aaron's sons who die for offering foreign fire, Acharei, at the altar in the Mishkan, in the tabernacle, while the Israelites are wandering in the desert. Moses goes up to Aaron, who is baffled. Aaron doesn't speak after this happens. It's very sudden. One moment, Aaron's sons, Nadav and Avihu, are alive, and the next minute they're not. And Moses does what he can. God tells Moses to tell Aaron what to do, almost like if you just do these things, follow these steps, maybe you'll be ready to go, you'll feel better. But we know today that's not how the grieving process works. And so Aaron can't really come up with anything to say in this moment. And then we move on from there. And it's easy for the text to move on. But this reminds me, as I'm sure it will remind many of you, that right now there are a lot of things that are uncertain for people. And more than that, what we see is that as we're all dealing with an unprecedented global health emergency, there is, and this won't be a unique take on this parsha, I'm sure, this week, but after discussing, lepers and all kinds of afflictions, it seems that tying those things together don't seem so strange. And what we have is, following the stories of lepers and ailments, contagion, we find, sudden death out of nowhere. Two young men before their time. Things we're seeing a lot of these days in our communities and in communities across the country and the world. So what can we learn from what Aaron goes through in this moment? Well, Aaron is shocked. But what Aaron doesn't try and do is heal too quickly. It's one thing to say, oh, yes, we know that, there's something similar here. Two young people die before their time, and, this is similar to COVID crisis. I think that what's more important is the pain and how the pain is dealt with by those who are left behind. In this case, Aaron, who feels he's done everything right to be good with God, and that his sons followed in his footsteps, and for them to be struck down in this way feels unfair and out of place. And while Moses and God to some extent want Aaron to, figure it out, Aaron doesn't do that. Aaron recognizes that it's going to take more time than that. And taking that time, whether it's taking time of separation or if it's taking time to feel grief in your lives, whether it's feeling grief about missing things, about not having the experiences you thought you'd experience, about illness, about death, whatever you're grieving for. Uh, Aaron in this portion is teaching us that it's okay to take that time. Um, he's not punished for it. There's no problem for him because he takes the time to grieve and to not speak about it, even to Moses. Moses would love to speak to him about it, it seems, but Aaron takes the time to be with himself, and one would hope that afterwards there would be some way for him to talk to someone. For us today, we know there are places we can go to talk to people. Within Hillel, we have our director of wellness, Rebecca, and there are so many resources through USC, through Hillel International, and really the whole community is here so that you don't have to grieve for anything alone. So with that, that's my thoughts on Acharei Mot, Kedoshim, but really just Acharei Mot. And I look forward to seeing everyone Thursday for the final live Torah portion study. Thanks and be well.